Let's turn our attention to the two country, one good model, assuming now that home is a large country, not a small country. This is the first time we're looking at that. We're looking at the market for dog treats, so we have everything set up here. Here's our home market, and autarky would get a price of autarky. I'm going to change PA. I'm going to put some numbers on here and give that a 12. And then in row we get PA star, so that's low, right? They have a comparative advantage in dog treat production, obviously. And then we get trade. Somebody would engage in arbitrage and give us this line across here, give us world price, and this many units would be imported. That's that, which is that, which is that. So that's all review. You should already understand all that. And maybe the world price, sorry, that's my phone, maybe world price comes in at $10. Okay, so if all that's true, well, we can do a little welfare analysis and see that previously producer surplus was that whole triangle. That's what they enjoyed in autarky. And then once this market was opened up to free trade, producer surplus becomes that little piece right there. Well, producers are going to be upset by that, and they're going to lobby for some kind of protection, and they might get it. And they might get it in the form of a $2 tariff. So let's say that the home government enacts or imposes a $2 tariff. Okay? If this was a small country, well then $2 on top of each one of these units would bring the price in home to $12, which would be prohibitive. And that's exactly what the producer would be just to get back into autarky, because that's where they were getting the most producer surplus, that whole triangle. But this is not a small country. Now we're assuming home is a large country. So the row producers might then say to themselves, I don't want to be shut out of that market, so if that's true, maybe I'll take a little bit lower than $10 for a particular good, for a unit of dog treats. And then they might, instead of taking $10, they might take $9. So let me erase PA star here so we can put some numbers. That's $9. Maybe row producers would say, I'll take less than $10. So if that happens, we're going to call that PA star, PW star equals $9. And I'm going to draw that line across here like this. And I'm going to bring it in like that. Okay. So at $9 now, somebody can go into the row market and buy units of dog treats for $9 and bring them over here for sale, hoping to make a profit on that. And if they do that, they still got to pay this $2 tariff, but that's not being added anymore to $9. That's now being added to PA star. So I'm going to put a line like that, and I only have to go that far for our purposes. So 9 plus the $2 is going to be 11. So that's the price for the goods imported. Okay, $9 is where they're purchased, but then they get bought at $2, so the price settles in at home at $11. And home producers get that piece of producer surplus back. So they're happier than they were in free trade. Not as happy as they were in autarky, but happier. So from there, we can do a little welfare analysis, because this is where the large country model gets interesting. We know that that many units would be produced domestically, whatever that number is, and we know that many units would be consumed domestically. So that's how many the home producer is making, that's how many the home consumer is buying, so that distance must be imported. And if that's what's being imported, and we get a $2 tariff, then this rectangle right here winds up being government revenue. That whole rectangle winds up being government revenue. This is just like we did with small country. Here's where it gets different, because this winds up becoming interesting. The same distribution of payment is not taking place here. The top part of this rectangle, this piece right here, is being paid by the home consumer, right? They're the ones that should be paying $10 in free trade, but they're having to pay $11. So they buy these units for this country from row, and they wind up paying $1 per unit, and that's passed along to them. So they're paying some of that tax, okay? And we also know that is that amount right there. Those two should be equivalent if all this is drawn to scale. However, this piece, which also is collected by the home government, is not being paid by any home agency or any home person. It's being paid by row producers, and it's actually this piece right here. That's what row producers are paying, which is the same thing as this piece right here. So, in order to collect, what is this? $2 times however many units that is. Some of that money is collected from the home consumer, and some of that money is collected from the row producer. In other words, because home is big, they are able to push off some of their tariff revenue onto the row producer. And we can see it show up in all three panels, both there, there, and there. It's a little bit like bullying. So one of your positions coming up is going to ask you if you're okay with this. Are you okay with the idea of a country using its large size in order to impose some of its tariffs on other countries? I'll be interested to see what position you take.